suppress us,
Well,
and act like it's us that needs the constant suppression.
yeah. One of my friends was posting this thing about, well, just remember, and he had a picture of Captain America who was happy and Captain America was grieving. And he said, well, half the country's this and half the country's this. We got to come together. And I wanted to go, yeah, the start could be when our president could apologize for calling the other guy's supporters garbage.
Yeah.
That would be the first step.
Oh yeah. You got to act like you did something wrong yourself, and that's not happening with this crowd. Yeah.
No. They're, it's funny. I had Tuesday, as I was leaving work, a bunch of the younger crowd were getting together, and they were talking about, I'm so worried. What are you going to do? And literally, these are people that have not moved out of their parents' house. We're talking about, I'm going to move to Canada. I'm going to move.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, I'm going to move to New Zealand. And I'm going,
oh boy, they wouldn't have you.
Could you even find New Zealand on a globe? I don't know.
They're not like the United States. You can't just crash over the border. You got to have a good reason to be there.
Yep. Anyway.
Oh well, New Zealand was where they that one guy Ty West made his X movie and Pearl, because they had to get certified as non-infectious for COVID.
Oh.
And since they were there and had a big old crew and all that, they said, let's just make another movie. It's too much damn trouble to move anywhere else, But that's what New Zealand was COVID free, basically, because they were such fascists about it,
Yeah. Okay, enough politics.
Okay.
Well, because I'm pretty certain my cousin is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we don't want to push into it that much.
No, we can gloat in person.
Yeah.
Sometime. Man,
well,
that sheet looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, how'd I do that?
Damn, it looks really good. Yeah.
I didn't be putting guidelines down. I waited half the page to draw that.
Dan probably wants to comment on it. You wanna go live?
Yeah, he probably can't see it.
Well, I'm not live yet. Do you want to make a comment about Dan before we start?
No.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I've got to. In case Mario shows up, hey, can you see me? I've got a little mirror pointed at me.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah. But hey, I think we're live. Wait a second. Yeah, it says in stream, so that means we're here.
Oh,
I guess when I was sharing.
Live?
Yeah, we're live.
We have, haven't we? Oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
We just started.
Okay.
Let's get this party started, says Dan.
Yeah. Anyway. So what'd you do today?
Well, I dug it. Yeah.
I bet. After all your dealings with the
heat miseries, yeah. My big fun thing I did was I've decided to make sure I don't forget I can cook a roast. That's what I had for supper.
Oh, nice. My in-laws are coming over Saturday.
I know I shouldn't say that I'm privy to all kinds of knowledge about what Scott says about his in-laws. Okay, no, I shouldn't say that.
No. I love my in-laws. They're great, but they're definitely they're not like their daughter. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But it will be good. But I say that we will have company most of the weekend.
So when are you starting this host mode?
Saturday.
Okay.
Michelle is getting a massage, and so she told them they can't come over till after she gets her massage. So.
Well, I could use one. That sciatica flare-up is.
Dude,
well, I really felt it today.
Greatest thing on the planet, man. Yeah. Holy cow.
And I know it's entirely from, sitting and doing this kind of stuff. Doing doom scrolling on an election night is bad for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no matter who you're voting for.
No matter.
No matter.
we will swing wide of all political notions,
Sure.
even though I'm so articulate on the subject. We'll swing wide of it anyway.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Anyway,
Ellis,
yeah.
it is good to actually see you. I would think, yeah. I can
Yes,
see why
yes.
people would be very excited by that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I did get something in the mail today.
What'd you get? Woo! The goddess of Pigland. Hey, I may have to have one of those. What's that?
I got my cousin's book. Yeah, he's had this out forever, and he said, "Do you have it?" And I'm like, "No."
Looks like it's nice format. Yeah, let me see the first few pages. That's where I always pull down. It's my own formatting for what it should look. Oh, look at all these. Oh, it's nicely illustrated. Very nice. Is it heavily illustrated? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Look at that.
Well, that's the way
cool.
to be if you're an artist. Add that extra dimension.
Golly, there's a lot of illustrations in here.
Yeah, it should be half and half.
Well, it's not quite a little
from
book
an artist
or a big little book.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've put a temporary pause on my shadows to read
that.
Read this. Well, what's funny is I gotta go get my oil change tomorrow, and
what is it about, Scott?
It is about
that's from Dan.
I haven't read it. He probably missed my cousin. Well, I know he missed my cousin being on. My cousin got on late last week.
Yeah.
And he was talking about he didn't talk what it was about. It's about a guy that's raised in an area called Pigland.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a fantasy thing, and he goes on an adventure. And apparently, I think if I read the review on Amazon right, he is somehow, I don't know if it's fact or just rumor, but he is rumored, or he is the I don't know how to say it. It's like if he has a kid, the kid will be divine. He's the carrier of some kind of divine seed, if you will.
Yeah,
And so of course all these women want to have his child. So and he's adventuring. I'm not sure, and I don't know who the goddess is, but the place is called Pigland. I don't know what the goddess is. I'm assuming it's this multiple-breasted, pig-like creature on the front. Anyway, in the Mazda service area, waiting area, this cover might draw some attention.
It might. Yeah. You know, it makes me also wonder, we could ask Mario if he does show up, did he let the visuals lead him? Are they prompts for what he wrote? You know, did he? Would that story not exist if he hadn't had the illustrations bopping around in his head? You know.
Yeah. Now, one of the reviewers that read it compared it to like a Monty Python, like a Holy Grail kind of thing.
That's right. It is humorous, and I told him, I said,
yes.
Man, that is the most challenging thing you can do. You need to try to scare people and imagine you can do that, or you can try to make them laugh and imagine you've got that much skill. Usually melodrama is what most people are capable of, or whatever, or simple
adventure type thing.
Yeah, some simple narrative where you don't say, "Ha ha, let's." Now you're laughing. That's why something like Confederacy of Dunces is so good. It's like, that guy makes this look easy, and he comes at you sideways on it too,
Yeah.
It's like some of these reviews said, what were you reading about this pathetic guy for? They didn't get it at all.
They get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. My cousin, in the brief time you talked to him, I don't know if you caught, I've always thought he had kind of a unusual sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid, I was, as a kid, hanging around with him. I just found him very very entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's it was good to talk to him. But like you say, we probably have just a ton in common because we're both about the same age, and both feel like we kind of like inevitably kind of aged out of anything we could basically expect to be doing, that we would want to do.
Well, well, and him and I have emailed quite a bit since we got back in touch. Mm-hmm. And I told you some of his emails where he talked about himself, and I won't say it out loud because, anyway. Mm-hmm. And I was telling my wife that. My wife was like, well, that's just like you. And I go, yeah, just kind of this, which I was okay with. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes somebody says, that looks just like you. And you go, what?
Yeah.
You go,
well, this is
what, are you kidding?
This is personality traits.
Yeah.
And,
Or, as an artist, someone says, hey, your art looks like so-and-so. What? That's my least favorite artist. Well, what are we talking about here?
On the podcast, Dave and I review a lot of art books, and I try very hard not to say his art looks like, but God, it's so hard to describe somebody's art without resorting to, other artists. And it's like, oh, man.
Yeah. And, obviously, if you were to question a guy, say, yeah, he's one of my inspirations, maybe he'd say that.
Maybe. It'd be a drag if you thought, well, God, just like, if you asked Mike Hoffman and he said, God, he looked kind of like Frazetta, which he gets a lot, obviously. And he always kind of bristle at it.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah, it's kind of odd. Because that's obviously what core to him, in terms
grief.
of
you cannot look at his art and go, I don't think this guy's ever seen a Frazetta.
No.
I don't think so.
But like we've said before, you have to give him props because everybody's seen a Frazetta. There aren't that many people that can look like him. They can try all day long and try to look like him.
I love Mike. It's Mike Hoffman. Yeah. I love his art, and and he seems to be I watched his YouTube videos. Seems to be a fairly smart guy and reasonable.
Do you think he would have been happy with the election?
I don't know.
I don't know. 50-50 coin toss on that. No. I don't think he would have cared that much. I don't know. Do you think he would have been a passionate reactor?
I don't think so. He doesn't. Okay. From watching his videos, he seems very measured and
yes, he does.
So to say.
But at the same time, he does. Oh, who is this Frazetta? Is he famous? That's Dan.
Oh yeah. If Dan is not following Frazetta Girls, he's missing out. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh yeah, Frazetta Girls is. I've done entirely too much redundant copying of all the stuff they posted there. It's like, I'll right-click save the Egyptian princess again.
Oh yeah, well Dave and I interviewed Sarah Frazetta at Kansas City Comic-Con. She was very graceful. Gracious. That's the phrase I'm thinking of. My head's right in front of the camera. Super nice lady, girl. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She seems like she's ready to meet the public. On Hoffman, I've spoken to him before, and I'm going to say that is a big no. That's about the election, I'm sure.
No. Yeah.
I do follow Frazetta Girls. Great page. Yeah. Both on Twitter and on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not on Twitter that much.
Oh, like I say, I about killed my back on X as the election stuff was rolling in.
Well, let's sue.
Yeah. He's got the money.
Yeah.
He may have all of it soon.
Heck,
it would help from. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you swung it right,
you
could probably convince him to pay for you to sue him.
Yeah.
If you somehow convince him that one of his underlings had wronged you.
Yeah.
It is interesting though how he's become. He has become like he was a hero to a lot of the people, and then all of a sudden, and I'm not really sure why. Is it because he? I mean, I know it's because he bought Twitter, but I don't. It's so bizarre to me.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, even before the Trump stuff, you know,
Uh-huh.
it just seemed like people were turned against it because of Twitter. It's like, well,
Oh, well,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, a lot of this is really just completely binary with some people. They have to know whether they like you or not based on all of these political considerations.
oh yeah,
And the moment they find out you are not on their team, the end as far as treating you like a normal person.
well, that's
So,
unfortunate, but whatever.
mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not how I live my life.
Yeah, we're supposed to not
Yeah,
give politics much of a workout tonight. Let's see. I think it was Twitter and him opening up so no one got shadow banned or censored. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, he just said,
yeah,
"Thanks for all your help, all you FBI
yeah.
employees that were so crucial to how the app was functioning before I got here, but I'm taking it in a new direction. Thanks anyway. Thanks for
Well,
your service."
what's interesting is he. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Never
I'm
mind.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I better watch myself here. But
Anyway,
especially when we're
so
talking
did
about the FBI.
yeah, no doubt. So did you leave the house today?
Oh, sure. I got out, got my
Oh,
walk
it
in.
was nice today, wasn't it? Just a little
Oh, yeah.
cooler.
I got out on all those bad days. I got out, and I had my umbrella because I didn't think I'd have to use it. Boy, I ended up using it.
Today?
Halfway around the park. Yeah, it started.
Really?
And I was getting, well, no, not today. No.
Oh, okay.
I was saying I got
Yep.
to catch up with Dan. And
Oh.
him also just talking common sense. He stepped out of line with free speech. And then the responses he got helped red pill him. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He wasn't ready to instantly step off too big until they decided they all
Well,
hated him. So many comic folks are ticked at him. And he's the closest thing we've got to a real life Tony Stark. That's also kind of true. The guy,
what's
the main thing that the springboard for Musk is PayPal. That just made him so
was he?
wealthy.
Was he the founder of PayPal?
He's one of them. Yeah, there's a couple
Okay.
other
Well,
venture capitalists in there that are also fabulously wealthy, but he's taking his money. And the other thing that he takes a big risk on is, a lot of his money has come from the government
mm-hmm.
subsidizing. He was ready for
Yeah,
a big
SpaceX.
hit. Yeah, a big hit when
Well, and that's the thing. He was kind of forced to support Trump.
yeah.
I mean, otherwise, because they had, after he bought X, everybody
Mm-hmm.
just kind of turned on him, and
Mm-hmm.
and I think Congress is even talking about, well, we're going to take away all these contracts, even to the point where they wouldn't let during the hurricanes, they wouldn't let him come in with the
The
satellite
Starlink, yeah.
Starlink. Yeah, it's like what?
Yeah, that was the other deal. Rachel Maddow was talking about it. She said, "Yeah, all these things, those are going away." Before the election results were in, those are
Oh
going
yeah.
away, big guy. She didn't say it quite like that.
Yeah.
Let's
Anyway.
see what else is Dan said. Thing is, and now Tony Stark. I think it was Maddow. Yeah, I just now said it. Who was calling for the government to terminate the contracts with him? But no, yeah, that was in the air. Otherwise, Maddow wouldn't have
Yeah.
known about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I saw some. We better just stop talking about it. But
Yeah.
it's
Let's
the biggest thing in the. It's the big news. Yeah, it's hard
Yeah.
not to talk about it.
Well, my thing is always, man, how many elections have you lived through? And some
Yeah.
of them go your way and some of them don't go your way. That's, and that's part of being an
You know what?
American.
That's our big news here. Is we got a North Carolinian right here that I'm posting his comments, and of course they're the ones that got ignored and everything else
Yeah.
by the government this time because they're basically probably going to vote red. So it's like,
Yeah.
and think about that. Compare that with Katrina, where the opportunity to to nail Bush to the cross just was just
Oh yeah.
taken on every angle and every path. I mean, that they could attack him at, every little vector they could hit him with. They did it on Katrina. I don't think Biden ever had anything here where he ever reacted in North Carolina. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. My thoughts went bluey.
Bluey.
Speaking as a son of a World War II vet who liberated a concentration camp, I'm tired of a certain N-word being tossed around. Yeah, North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me tell you about my week.
Okay. Yeah, let's hear it.
At work, we had a vendor, our foundry that manufactures our sculptures, does our casting. Basically, has come out and said all these molds that we've done that are 1/4 of an inch thick, they now want them 3/16 of an inch thick.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, this just caused so much chaos in my life.
So you got to add a 1/16 of an inch for.
You got to remove.
Oh, remove. What am I?
The
I'm
wax.
sorry, my math. There we go.
That's okay. That's okay. But yeah.
4/16. Yes, is a 1/4. Yeah.
Yes, and it's just like, oh my gosh, it's just a nightmare.
And
I mean,
what are the saving? What kind of savings do they have as their reason for that? Well, how much will that cost them less? Maybe.
Well, they're saying that it won't cast. They've cast this stuff for years, and they're saying they can't cast it because I mean, I've got the last couple of weeks I've got about 3 sculptures back, and they're like, we can't cast this because it's too thick, and I go, they've cast this for 15 years. I think there's the guy that's kind of running the place, that owns the place, is older. And I think he's, I don't know. And I think so he said something the other day, or a few months ago.
Wait.
Yeah.
You were being ageist. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I am old, so I can say this.
All
well, right. And I think I don't know if, but everybody's like, why? And so, of course, my boss, I mean, this is the foundry. We don't, there's not a foundry on every corner. So,
yeah, no.
Yeah, it's a freaking nightmare. It literally is one of those things that make me wish I could just walk out of that place. And I love my job, but I of course, every job is like this. But man, when you make stuff, sometimes that stuff don't get made, and sometimes it ain't your fault,
Yeah.
It's like
no, I imagine. Yeah, a person is most comfortable when they're like me, and all they do is the robotic stuff that they've designed for themselves to do.
Yeah.
That get up and turn on their coffee machine and. Gosh, you've done your intellectual tasks for the day, But,
yes, that's my dream, man. It's like, how can I get, and I mean, I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
I rearranged my room, the living room where I do so much work and hanging out in before I moved back here into the bedroom. And I got things a lot less cluttered.
Nice.
When I finally decided that I'm no longer a oil painter, I got rid of a lot of clutter that way, and I looked it over for a second time. I said, you know what? There's a lot more, especially with this weird compulsion where you've got all your office supplies right with the in arm's reach.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, why do I think I can walk across the room for a pencil that I may not even want for the next year. I think I'll just store those over here to where they're not in the way.
Yeah.
And it's nice. There's a lot of things when you do that kind of thinking, you realize, this stuff could be in the closet, and put a I could put a lock on the door. It still wouldn't bother me that much to have to go through the trouble of getting it.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes about art supply. I did a video the other day about picking the perfect sketchbook, and so I'm digging out all these sketchbooks to use as examples. Like, good God, I'll never fill these. I should never buy another sketchbook.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that. I'm bottom. Oh, look at me play with the lighting. I put these white pieces of paper under my head.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
But I did
light.
The other day. I got in my closet because I was like, you know what? I thought I bought a bunch of shadow paperbacks from a comic shop years ago, and I found them, and God, I have a complete collection of shadow paperbacks from. Now there were several different runs. From 2 runs, I have every book. It's like about 35 books that I got.
Wow.
And I was like, I had forgotten I had this many of them.
Are you in any sort of thing where you get a newsletter from shadow enthusiasts or anything? Because
yeah, it seems to have taken over my life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
no, I dig the shadow myself.
87 of the pulps. I've got a almost complete run of the pulps, Ellis. And that was my thing, is if I'm gonna buy them, I'm gonna read them.
Mm-hmm. Razor Fist is probably the world's biggest shadow fan. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh yeah, I knew that. I've listened to him talk about the shadow and different aspects.
Mm-hmm. And that really influences his how
Western.
He writes. His Western. Ghost of the Badlands. It's really I enjoyed that read. I need to loan you my copy.
Did you read
I've got a physical copy. I'll loan it to you the next time I see you.
Oh yeah. Well,
I remember
we finished Goddess of Big Land and 356 Shadow Scores.
Yeah, there you go.
At least Goddess of Big Land.
Or you could finish Badlands real quick.
I could if I had time to read.
Yeah, there you go.
I was at the hippie pad working on videos last night.
The hippie pad?
Yeah. Well,
where can I find this place?
Oh, that's what the guy. Yeah, it was funny. We went over there, or I went over there, and I was talking to the guy, and we did some work, and we talked about some stuff, and he said, "Well, I thought we were going to do a phone call," and I said, "Well, I wanted to come over and hang out." I was invited. His son invited me, who was also working on the project. He said,
I got you. I know what the hippie pad is now.
Yeah, it's the Technotainment guys.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, well, Michael and I had arranged for me to come over, and he said, well, I thought we'd do it over the phone. I said, well, no, I wanted to come over and hang out. And we were done. And he said, well, dude, if you want to hang out, if you want to hang out a little bit longer. We're gonna go in the backyard and smoke some whatever cannabis. And I go, I said, thanks for the offer, dude, but I gotta go.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I would have been dumb enough to go back there and smoke it up, because that stuff, you could be, it might take as long as getting over that cigar took for me to get over that if I took some. Because you know what? Wait a second, Scott. There are some shadow Facebook pages. Have you joined any of them, Scott?
Yes.
Okay, you have. Okay.
Yeah, and that's where I met. Was it last week? I showed you the book that I did the illustration for, or the magazine, the fanzine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I am in tune. That's how. And yes.
I should check out Instagram stuff like that. Yeah.
Are you on Reddit?
Yeah, I can see some Reddit. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of shadow stuff on Reddit.
That's a good idea. I like my Reddit posts.
Wait, is Reddit the one that's images? or is it?
Reddit can be images, but mainly, yeah, they're mainly about like people. I'm a member
Oh
of
no,
Reddit's
no. What's
Norm
the other one?
Macdonald.
What's the image one? That's the one I'm thinking of.
Instagram.
The
Huh.
no. There's something else like Reddit where you go Pinterest. Pinterest.
Pinterest. Yes, yes,
Are
yes.
you on Pinterest?
I am. Yeah, and that you're right there. They would all you'd have to do is enter a few shadow things, and
Yeah,
they
there'd be
torment you with no,
images that pop up
yeah, yeah.
to beat the band.
Yeah, I mainly get here's your new Debbie Harry feed, and here's your new Joan Jett feed. You look at
They've got you
one seductive picture of your favorite pop artist, and you're fed with everyone she's ever done. The one that is amazingly inexhaustible is if you ever get started on looking at pictures of Betty Page.
Oh gosh. Well,
She got in front of that camera about 10 million times in her life, I think. Yeah. I've seen so many pictures. It's like I've never seen that one before.
yeah, it's like, where'd that come from?
Go for the snacks. Pot smokers always have the best snacks. Yeah,
Eh,
they have to.
I did not smoke any pot. Not my bag, so to speak.
Not my bag.
I figure if I've gone this long, why start now?
You're waiting for them to figure out the mushrooms just right before you just take your first outer space trip.
Oh, a guy at work swears if I smoke pot, it would solve all my eye problems. I'm like, no.
I guess you hear that.
Yeah, it's for
Glaucoma, all
yeah,
that.
but the I've read some reports. It does, but it's like very temporary.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, and besides, who wants to stink up their house?
Well, and the generational thing with strength is when I was smoking it, we always had what we called skunk weed, which was really weak. It's like I'm not even sure I'm smoking pot here. You'd be very dissatisfied with the high
Effect.
yeah, the effect, and that was common. And you smoked it anyway, and it basically fed that it's addictive, whether you say it is or not. It's feeding that drug that you've gotten the body used to having. And but then nowadays, oh my God, the strength on that thing! I almost had to have medical help one time. I thought when I smoked some of it because it does such a wasting job on you. I mean, yeah. You got no empathy or no way to relate to it.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, I was just gonna say you're not selling me.
Yeah. No. I'm not trying to sell anybody because it is a person doesn't need a new way to take a point or two off his IQ. And pot a point or two, and pot definitely takes it off.
Like I told my friend who does smoke pot, not the hippie, but another friend, I said, name me the guy that we know that you said he was really dumb till he started smoking pot.
Yeah. Rogan thinks it doesn't bother his capacity, and maybe it doesn't. And you'll get that around some jocks and stuff like that, where they feel like their performance, maybe it's not. They just feel like they are less likely to hurt themselves. I don't know, when they're on pot. I never had money for drugs. Speaking of Debbie Harry, have you guys ever seen the photos of her in body paint by Geiger? Yeah, those. Debbie was always willing to get in front of the camera for a lot of miscellaneous people that, if they had an idea. She did some. I always dig the ones that she obviously had a really good time with. Was when she was just palling around with the Ramones and stuff like that. They obviously got on pretty well.
Yeah.
Playing at the same clubs and stuff like that. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Which Mario would be very familiar with the day. I was watching some. I always think of you when I'm watching some vintage movie where they're showing just great shots of New York. You know, it's like,
Oh yeah.
take me back there.
Yeah.
Back in
Yeah.
the day of that.
Yeah. I like New York. All right. You know, when we went, I had fun. I mean, we wasn't there long enough for me to just be like, you know, oh my gosh, get me out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not as cool as it used to be, but part of it is just the economy.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like the stuff I used to run around. Like I used to go to art supply stores. Stuff they're all gone.
The hell disappeared from COVID. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, even before COVID, honestly. Dick Blick. I mean, you know, why would you buy at an art supply store for list pricing? It's just like Amazon. You know,
Mm-hmm.
who buys books at full price? You know, when you got
Mhm.
Amazon, you can get them cheaper. You know, I mean, and it sucks because you know then you get no bookstores in your town or whatever. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's nothing better than browsing around in the bookstore, and I guess it'd be hard. I can't even think of where I'd go to browse around. I'd have to go to your side of town to find a bookstore.
yeah, I mean, you got half-price books by you.
Oh yeah, that's right. I could go over there.
But again, though, that's a used bookstore. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you know it is local, and I guess a lot of books on Amazon are used.
You know what? I may have to get over there a little more often. Wouldn't take me that much effort, obviously. Make a swing by on the way back from the park every now and then.
Yeah, they open like kind of late, so just make sure they're open.
What kind of hours do they keep?
I think
never-
they open at 10. I mean, I don't know what time you leave the park.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sometimes I'm waking up at 10, so yeah.
Oh, okay. What is your normal schedule, Ellis? I mean, I kind of know what you do.
Hmm.
I kind of know what you do in terms of like with your day.
Hmm.
But I mean, what
What's
time
my
do you wake
schedule?
up?
I
Or
just
is it
wake
just-
up when I feel like it. It depends on which cat. If I've got this one cat indoors, who I call Mama Cat because she spawns so much of my troubles around here. She wakes me up real early, which I call real early, about 7:30. The problem is you
well,
can't get great bargains at used shops anymore.
Yeah.
The days of finding good stuff for next to nothing, sadly, are gone. Scott manages to do it, does it regularly.
Yeah, you have to just kind of keep your eye open. But,
Yes, yeah, Scott is saying.
I
believe-
tell you what, since I bought those shadow books, I've kind of slowed down because like I got enough stuff to read probably for the rest of my life. Honestly,
Sure.
You know, it's like, I need to read. You know, I mean, I did
think
just buy my cousin's book though, and I'll read that.
I want to read. I want to read a copy of that. Yeah, I gotta buy my own. How much did it cost?
$15, I think.
Whew, okay, well, he's going to make some money on those if he ever gets a bestseller of that because he must have put his profit mark up there, you know. So it's worth his while.
I don't know anything about that, so you know, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean a little paperback like that probably could have cost $8 or something like that. I don't know.
I mean, it's pretty. It's
Again, I'm
over-
always getting sticker shocked by anything. I don't buy anything.
It's 246 pages. I mean,
Oh, it's quite a bit.
it's illustrated, Ellis.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So you know,
I am going to look that up. That is Goddess of Pigland.
Yes.
I will make a point of sticking a link in this particular episode to that. I'll Amazon link it.
There you go. So if you are out there in Pigland, look for.
I was gonna ask him if he was at all inspired by the idea of this one book. Oh, what was that called? Oh, gosh. Great little science fiction book by. Oh my gosh, I'd have to go in there, way over there to my bookshelf and try to find it. I'm not going to do that.
Well, you can't ask him right now anyway, so
yeah,
it's just as well.
It was a book I bought when I was in junior high, and I was so blown away by it. And the illustrations in it are by a guy that John Schonauer or something like that, and he did a lot of cool illustrations. You'd know. Let me look him up, John Schonauer. I'll get on a different tab if I can spell his name right. Oh, he did. He did the Dune, the Showing Man. That's probably it. Images. Nope, that ain't him. Should have went with my first memory. Well, I'm not getting anything. I'll type in Dune Illustrator. First Dune Illustrator. That ought to do it. I'll get the result. John Schoenherr. Yep.
And he illustrated this science fiction book you're talking about?
Yeah. And he did all those iconic images of those gate mouth, worms that we first were exposed to on those paperback covers. He was the concept designer on it.
I still haven't read Dune.
No, you bounced off of it. How many times you say?
No, many. I just can't get it. It's just too. There's nothing about it. It's completely alien, which I know is the idea.
I can't tell you what magic it's got, because I think everybody, they get into the court drama of it all, and they think, why am I reading this? But they pitch on, and that's the magic of, like, if you establish you've got a story here and you're going someplace with it, people can't help themselves and say, how is this going to turn out? They dip back in, and then it's got several points that gratify you along the way. Say, that was fun to get here. Oh, you know what I'm dipped into now is The Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh,
that's on Netflix. That's pretty cool.
A series?
Yeah, it's one of those series types of things, and it's it's really fun because they take all the tropes of Poe stuff, like premature burials and stuff like that, and blend it into this story about this family that is, just totally corrupt but extremely rich, that are pharmaceutical guys that are, that's part of what they is the dynamic of the story. Oh. But it's really good because I'm on one called The Mask of Red Death right now, and it's about this despicable, spoiled guy that is about to have a rave, and he's trying to they all get money from Roderick eventually. It's their due, but they have to pitch it first to get their inheritance. And they have to come forward to him and tell him what it is they want their millions for. And then, if he okays it, you're good for a few million of before he dies money.
Hmm.
And this really spoiled. He's a bastard. He's still in the family, and he wants to he wants to bring back Studio 54 debauchery. And there's like, no, I don't think that's what we'll do with our money here.
Yeah, no.
But that's what he wants to show them, that he can do things that they've got no idea they could do. But anyway, yeah. So the Mask of the Red Death, and this guy does really good mood stuff. He did one called Midnight Mass. That's one of the best vampire stories. It's been out in a long time. I'm not much on vampire stories anyway.
No. I could see that. I'm not really either. I guess. I don't know.
Well, vampires, I like them to be kind of grotesque and just barely human, but that puts them into zombie territory these days. And so nobody else likes that particular take on vampires anymore. I like them to be awful, screwed up wraiths,
Oh, yeah. I guess speaking of vampires, I guess there's a new Salem's Lot series on Netflix. Have you seen that? Is it on Netflix?
I don't know if it's on Prime or Netflix.
Maybe it's on Max.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I can't imagine them improving over the Toby Hooper one, but they may have done it.
Well, I can't imagine a lot of things that they're trying to prove on, but they
try.
Yeah.
It's like the remake cities stuff. Have an original thought.
Nah.
Oh,
yeah.
I do like the one thing that's happened to politics is that it may be the end of even striving to get celebrity endorsement.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting that all and
did you see the big Avengers call, the phone call where Scarlett O'Hara starts it off saying, "Hi, everybody."
Oh, yeah. I saw that. Well, and I had heard that a lot. I don't know about the Avengers themselves, but I'd heard a lot of the musicians that Harris had at her thing were paid.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
which I mean, I can't blame them.
They had some money. I don't know if you'd call it gone missing or what, but they raised. Everybody was bragging about raising this incredible billion number toward the end. Now it's like they recently announced the same sort of number has gone missing. So they had something figured out to go ahead and absorb the stuff once they got it.
So the whole thing
don't let that go. Let me put that somewhere safe.
Well, you know what I told some of my coworkers that I was talking to about this? I said, you've got to realize these are not people that supported Harris. I said, you got to realize some of these people that are fans of the celebrities that endorsed it, in their mind, there could be no bigger endorsement. How could you not vote for this person? After all, Taylor Swift support, and
yeah.
I know people that their life revolves around her.
Yes,
so
I guess it must be true.
To be able to swing the election probably was a little startling for some people.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like any of this stuff. I laugh every time I see those coat hanger based signs, yard signs. It's like, do you really imagine somebody that's been waiting to vote for a person that they probably have a little bit of a passion about voting for in the first place? You really imagine that coming across that sign has got any influence? And that's the other thing. Shoot, I think people have been killed over those yard signs. So it's like, what in the world? What do you imagine those are doing for you?
I think there is something to that. I don't know about on a presidential level.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think,
Maybe on the way to a thing on a local election where you've got no idea what you're voting for anyway.
well, yeah, and I think in a close thing, it can be good. If you go into a neighborhood and you're like, I don't know, you're leaning one way or the other, and all of a sudden you see, well, my neighbors support this person. Why not? Why not? Well, I
Yep.
had a true confession. I had a yard sign in my yard for a local race, state senator, and it's a lady that I've known my entire life. Her father was a minister, and he married my parents.
Huh.
So
Yeah, you gotta show your support. Sure.
yeah. I saw her, and in fact, I saw her at. She doesn't live in the neighborhood, but she was invited to our block party, and I saw her, and she recognized me. We're Facebook friends, and I said, I need to get one of your yard signs. And she goes, I got one in the trunk. And then she looked, and she's like, I am out. And I said, okay. I said, where do I go to get one? She goes, well, I'll bring one and put it on your porch next couple days. And it took a couple days, but she brought one and put it on my porch, and I stuck it actually, I think she stuck it in my yard. But
I think
Michelle took it out yesterday, and she won, by the way.
So, cool. Very cool.
I did better than the celebrity endorsers for my candidate.
Well, I'm glad she won.
Yeah.
And my misogynist impulse is generally to vote for the guys anyway. So it's like I'm glad someone is counterbalancing my bad impulses.
Well, I would have. Yeah. Yes. I try. That's what I live for. To counteract Ellis's bad impulse.
Yeah.
Ellis's misogynistic impulses.
Good catching up with. Hey guys, I got to sign off for this evening. Wait a second, let me make sure. He said first, the art is looking good, gentlemen. The celebrities were doing it because they have to show their allegiance to their masters.
Sure.
Yeah, there is a lot of peer pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Inkwell. This is different. This isn't Dan. The art is looking good, gentlemen. Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
so
I'm cross talking here. Hey guys, I got to sign off. This is from Dan. Good catching up with you.
Oh, so Inkwell was about the celebrities.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Scott, the artwork looks good. I will get you the edits this weekend since you are wrapping up. Okay.
I have company this weekend, so I will probably not to be able to do anything fun.
Sure. Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Well, that's
Truth hurts.
Well, you got to entertain family sometimes.
Are they bringing their own pets to interact with their pet?
They are bringing a dog, and our dogs did not get along very well last time.
Oh.
So this is a little bit of a,
Not a problem.
Hey, no, well, it's a challenge. Oh, he said not a problem.
Yeah, and I know you got the in-laws coming in. Oh, and Inkwell also says good night.
Oh.
And I did say the art looked great. Yeah, she said that.
Oh, okay.
Inkwell.
I don't know.
I'll have to look them up. I'll have to look her channel up.
I feel like I should know who that is.
We probably do.
Probably. Apologize if it's somebody I should know. I wonder if it's Jeff. It may be the inker.
Oh.
I mean, that
yeah, that makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
In fact, who else? Yeah, every now and then I all of a sudden become aware. Show them Svengoolie.
Yeah, I suggested that. My wife wasn't down with that. I don't know what Svengoolie is this weekend.
That is a great evening of entertainment right there.
Yeah. If I were the host and not my wife interfering, we'd get a frozen pizza and Svengoolie. Even though Pizzoli, what are they? Pizzolis? Mazio's has these things that look like a cinnamon roll, but it's dough around pepperonis, and those are out now. They only do them for a certain time of the year, and they're out now until the end of the year. So I would do whatever those are and Svengoolie, and they would have a great time, and then we go hang out at the hippie's house for a little while.
The first and Dr. Phibes is the movie this weekend.
Oh, that's right.
The first exposure to Dr. Phibes, that was pretty special because it was like almost close to spatter, fun deaths and stuff like that. Good shocks. It was special in terms of like stepping out for. Well, no, that's not true. Vincent Price has been in some real shockers before, so he didn't mind being around a good bloody shocker.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good one. I get them.
I still can't make myself watch Witchfinder General just because it involves so much harsh treatment to women and stuff. Crockpot Spaghetti. He's planning on making that with Carolyn Monroe. That's right. She's the dream girl, right? Yeah, or is it somebody else that's his little dream assistant? Or is she one of the victims? I don't know.
I actually suggested that we make spaghetti.
Hmm.
I think I got ixnayed on the spaghetti.
I'm just glad to have so much beef sitting around for the next three or four evenings for a simple meal. Heat it up.
Yeah, if I were single, I'd probably every weekend I'd probably be making chili when it's cold.
Yeah, well they've got some really cool, YouTubes. Oh, Monroe is Mrs. Phibes, so she doesn't move around much. Yeah, Witchfinder General is a hard one to get through. Not your typical price movie. Yeah, if things are really kind of a little, you could call them toughies or roughies. I can't get through some of that stuff. So I'm not attracted to it.
Oh yeah.
She just has to look lovely, which was the role she was born to play. That's right.
Yep. I would agree with that.
She was Mrs. Phibes. Okay. And I just now remember it because I was doing an imitation in my head of Price because he had such a funny, he had to use augmented stuff to pronounce stuff, and so he'd really get into it. Volnavia, that was her name. That was the little helper's name.
Volnavia.
Yeah, Volnavia. I believe that was.
God, that's about as bad as some Anne Fleming name.
yeah, it is. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, art is awesome.
Thank you.
I did. It's actually Xenomorph month, or what would you call that? Yeah, it's November. It's Xenovember or something like. Yeah, Xenovember.
Oh
so
yeah.
I did an alien.
Nice.
Share that on Instagram tonight. It's funny to think about, having that great rubber suit right in front of you and using it as much as Ridley Scott decided to use it, which was hardly at all. I came out of that theater impressed on every level you're supposed to be impressed by a movie, of being scared and entertained and everything like that. And my only dissatisfaction was I couldn't see that alien because he shot around it so much.
Yep.
And that was the way to do it. It's the only way to do it. It's like don't give a good clear shot of that thing. That'll really scare you if you can't see him.
Yeah, I think I think monsters like that are best. It should be treated kind of like Twister. It's a threat, and occasionally you see it, but it's not really like in your face all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Night,
guys. See you next week.
See you, man.
Well, Scott, it is 59 minutes now, and if Mario shows up right about now, what are we going to do? I guess we'll have an extended show.
Yeah. I'll finish
we did last time.
I'll finish his page is what I'll do.
There you go.
There would be worse things.
Oh no, I'm not saying I couldn't do it.
I don't know. Well, because of his, because of his life situation.
Yeah,
He's got to take care of his wife.
He's
so,
a caregiver.
Right.
Well, I discussed that with you kind of offline in a way about how I got the personality to do that for another person. It's like I worry about that in my own when I'm giving myself my credit my grade, whatever you call it, your grades
you
as a
judge
person.
you judge yourself as a person. You say you are or you're not a good caregiver.
I don't think I would be. I don't think I don't think I've got the depth for it. I think I'm too narcissistic.
Yeah, I would. No offense, but I would probably disagree with that. I would probably agree with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
were going. Yeah, it's just some way some people are built. It's like, should we send him through the wire, sir? Are you kidding me? You'll never make it to the wire. And you have to make those judgments. It's like, since we're about clear anyway. It's like DEI coming to a close in so many things, and sadly, it's like the aircraft industry has decided, we're going to go back to merit again. We're crashing too many planes.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
and it's like, and it's also, who knows what may have crashed those guys, those two females, a Rio and a pilot.
Oh yeah.
In that F-18 recently. What are we supposed to get, a storm? I'm hearing thunder.
I didn't know about storm. I hear thunder too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about storm, but we are supposed to get rain tonight.
Okay. Well, Scott, you ready to check out before Mario has even got a chance to show up?
Yeah, we can do that. Sorry, Mario. I feel like he's not going to. I mean, he's probably,
Well, I may have confused him on some level. He may have wanted to set up for music and got some frustrations there or something. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully not. But anyway, yeah, we'll call it.
This is interesting. This thing I did, I could do that. People might think that you're more involved if you've got a picture of your face on it. So I may do that some more.
Yeah, I like it. I may have to figure out if I can do that. I got my table slanted at a pretty high angle. It might be tough.
I need to do some investigation of what a person might be able to do with StreamYard. We might be able to split screen or something. Okay. Scott, I'm going to end it.
Okay.
Hey, you did good work tonight. You know what? I'm trying to reach over and point at the that one guy's head is too big. You need to
in the middle.
Yeah,
panel?
in the middle. Bring that guys. Trace it and reduce it and bring
big.
it. Print it.
I may Photoshop it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there you go. Okay, well, I'm going off.
Okay.